As I have stated in my earlier videos, we all experience the life and the world around us in our unique ways. It all depends on our perception, our attitude, our beliefs, our values, and a lot of different things. However, the point is that none of us experience the life and the world exactly the same way. In my book, Words of Wisdom, the last chapter is the conclusion of all those things that I have talked about in previous chapters. And in this conclusion, I introduce 3 different concepts or theories of the level of consciousness or the level of self-growth. One concept or theory that I introduce is by Dr. David Hawkins, and one is by Dr. Michael Beckwith, and the third one is, well, originally from Gregory Bateson, and then adopted by Dr. Richard Bandler and his students, and they all have some similarities. One of the similarities is that in the lowest level of personal growth or consciousness, or however you want to view it, there's this level where we kind of let the surrounding and the environment to dictate how we perceive the world. And according to Dr. David Hawkins, almost 80% of the population of the earth are in the lowest level. And that means that the person thinks that everything happens to me. This is also what Dr. Michael Beckwith says. He's got 4 different levels in his concept. But the thing is that the environment, kind of like, we are just reacting. In lowest level, we are reacting to the environment. Things are happening to us. And all I can do basically in that level is to react and somehow try to cope and respond to whatever the environment and other people in it throw at me. Then once we grow out from that level, there's the level where we start to realize that, hold on, I can choose my responses, I can choose my reactions, I can take control of how I feel, how I think, and how I respond. So that means that we start to, in that stage, take control of at least some parts of the environment, since the way we react, the way we behave to whatever is going on around us, then when we change our behavior, also the responses of the environment, of the other people, they start to change. So instead of, for example, me being angry all the time at whoever, cuts me in the highway or whatever, instead of being constantly angry, if I choose and learn to see those events differently, and instead of being angry, I kind of feel, okay, well, he just cut in front of me. Well, so what? Or however somebody talks to me, instead of being angry at what you said to me, I choose to be, okay, well, that's your opinion. Then the other people and the environment also starts to behave differently. Since I'm not angry about something, and instead I might choose a different kind of reaction or response, then the environment also treats me differently. So this is the first stage, basically, that we need to learn if we want to take control of our lives. So Dr. David Hawkins has this kind of scale. I don't know if you can see it here in the video, but in the book I have also introduced like this abridged table from his work. So there are different like frequencies of emotional states that we are in. And anything below 200 in Hawkins's table means that we are in this lowest level, pretty much. And we are just responding and reacting to our environment. And there are things like, I like this table really a lot, because there are, if we are feeling these kind of feelings, for example, shame, which is the lowest, I mean, it's a humiliation. We are humiliated by other people or the environment. That's the lowest level. And then we come up from guilt to apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, pride. And at the level of courage, this courage is then the level when we start to kind of take control of things. We have the courage to change our behavior. We have the courage to do something about things, not just letting the environment run us. And after the courage, we have this trust, kind of neutrality. When we go higher in the levels, we have willingness, optimism. Then we come to acceptance and forgiveness and so on, and all the way up to very high levels of consciousness. Now, the thing to really get from the lowest level of consciousness or our personal growth, then how do we do that? Well, it takes some awareness. You need to become first aware of your thoughts, your behavior, your actions. And when you become aware of those things, then you will be able to change those things. There are a lot of different tools for that. Dr. David Hawkins, in his book Letting Go, introduces us a technique and mechanism of letting go, like the title of the book. So when you let go of whatever is kind of like causing you the angry states or sadness or whatever, when you realize that none of those things are based on truth, they are just your perceptions, they are your interpretations. And when you let go of whatever beliefs and perceptions you have, you start to change those things. Some other things that I have found very, very helpful is, first of all, NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. Neuro-Linguistic Programming has a lot of different techniques where you can change your thinking, your neurology, and what you say to yourself. And once you start to really use those techniques, then you realize that the perception of the world changes. Hypnosis is an excellent tool as well. There are different things like EFT, emotional freedom technique, I believe it's the correct name. There are all kinds of meditations. There are different like yogas that might help you. And there's a wind wave that is also based on a lot of NLP. So there are a lot of tools to really help you to get from the lowest states of consciousness to higher levels. I highly suggest or recommend that you start to explore what would suit you and what would be a good technique or good method for you. Once you have risen from the lowest level to at least the neutrality or like whatever higher levels there are, to take control of your life, then comes different things really. When you really start to grow to higher levels and really be more and more conscious of what this life, what this world is really about. And I will have another video on how to deal with those higher levels and how to get higher on these levels of consciousness and self-growth. I hope you have found this video helpful, and I hope I have given you some ideas on how to improve your life. And, like I said, I highly also, of course, recommend my book, Words of Wisdom. So, and you can watch some other videos that I have posted here on different topics and the chapters of the book. So, thanks a lot for watching this, and be well.